Most assuredly, I am saying to you, he who receives whomever I shall send, me he receives. And the one who receives me receives him who sent me. Having said these things, Jesus was distressed in his spirit and testified and said, Most assuredly, I am saying to you, one of you shall betray me. The disciples kept on looking to one another, being at a loss concerning whom he was speaking. There was one of his disciples reclining on the bosom of Jesus, whom Jesus loved. Therefore Simon Peter nods to this one and says to him, Tell me who it is concerning whom he is speaking. That one, having leaned thus on the breast of Jesus, says to him, Lord, who is it? Then Jesus answers, That one it is for whom I will dip the morsel, and to whom I will give it. Then, having dipped the morsel, he takes it and gives it to Judas, son of Simon Iscariot. And after the morsel, then there entered into that one Satan. Then Jesus says to him, That which you are doing, do at once, and more quickly. Now, no one of those at the table understood with reference to what he spoke this to him, for certain were thinking that since Judas held the purse, Jesus said to him, Purchase in the market what things we need for the feast, or that he should give something to the poor. Then, having taken the morsel, that one went out immediately, and it was night. Then, when he had gone out, Jesus says, Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. Since God is glorified in him, God also will glorify him in himself, and forthwith will glorify him. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. You shall seek me. And even as I said to the Jews, Where I am departing you are not able to come. So now I am telling you, a commandment, a new one, I am giving you, that you should be constantly loving one another with a divine and self-sacrificial love, even as I loved you. You also be loving one another. In this all shall know that you are my disciples, if you constantly have love among one another. Simon Peter says to him, Lord, where are you departing? Answered Jesus, Where I am departing you are not able to follow with me, but you shall follow later. Peter says to him, Lord, why am I not able to follow you right now? My life on your behalf I will lay down. Answers Jesus, Your life on my behalf you will lay down? Most assuredly I am saying to you, a rooster shall positively not crow until you deny me 3 times. Let not your heart continue to be agitated. Be putting your trust in God. Also be putting your trust in me. In the house of my Father there are many dwelling places. Indeed, if it were not so, in that case I would have told you, for I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, again I come and will receive you to myself, in order that where I am, also you may be. And where I am departing, you know the road. Thomas says to him, Lord, we do not know where you are going. How is it possible for us to know the road? Jesus says to him, I alone, in contradistinction to all others, am the road, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you had learned to know me through experience, in that case also my Father you would have come to know. From now on you are beginning to know him, and have seen him with discernment. Philip says to him, Lord, show us the Father at once, and it is sufficient for us. Jesus says to him, Such a long time I am with you, yet you have not come to have an experiential knowledge of me, Philip? He who has discerningly seen me has seen the Father with discernment. How is it that you are saying, Show us the Father at once? Do you not believe that I am in the Father and that the Father is in me? The words which I am speaking to you, not from myself as a source of my speaking, but the Father who in me is abiding, he is doing his works. Be believing me, that I am in the Father and that the Father is in me. But if not, because of the works themselves be believing. Most assuredly I am saying to you, he who believes in me The works which I am constantly doing, also that one shall do. And greater than these shall he do, because I am proceeding to the Father. And whatever you ask in my name, this I will do, in order that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask me anything in my name, I will do it. If you are loving me with the divine and self-sacrificial love, the commandments which are mine you will keep. And as for myself, I will ask the Father, and another counselor of the same kind as I am, he will give to you in order that he might be with you forever, the Spirit of the truth, whom the world is not able to receive because it does not see him with discernment and does not know him experientially. But as for you, you know him experientially, because by your side he dwells, and in you he shall be. I will not leave you behind helpless. I come to you. Yet a little while, and the world no longer sees me. But as for you, you see me. Because I live, also you shall live. In that day you shall know experientially that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. He who has my commandments and habitually keeps them, that one is he who is loving me with a divine and self-sacrificial love. And he who is loving me thus shall be loved with the same kind of love by my Father, and I shall love him, and I shall love him with the divine and self-sacrificial love, and I shall disclose myself to him. Judas says to him, not Iscariot, Lord, and what has come to pass that to us you are about to be disclosing yourself and not to the world? Answered Jesus and said to him, If anyone as a habit of life loves me with a divine and self-sacrificial love, my word he will keep, and my Father will love him, and to him we shall come, and an abiding place with him we shall make for ourselves. He who is not habitually loving me with a divine and self-sacrificial love, my words he is not keeping. And the word which you are hearing is not mine, but belongs to him who sent me, the Father. These things I have spoken to you while abiding with you, and the Counselor, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, that one will teach you all things, and recall to your mind all things which I spoke to you. Peace I am leaving behind for you. Peace which is mine I am giving to you. Not such as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart continue to be agitated, neither let it continue to be fearful. You heard that I said to you, I am departing and I am coming to you. If you were loving me, you would in that case already have rejoiced that I am proceeding to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. And now I have told you before it comes to pass, in order that whenever it does come to pass, you may believe. Many things no longer will I speak with you, for there comes the ruler of the world, and in me he has nothing. But in order that the world may come to know experientially that I love the Father, and even as the Father commanded me, thus I am doing. Be arising, let us be going from this place. I, in contradistinction to anyone else, am the vine, the genuine vine, and my Father is the tiller of the soil. Every branch in me not bearing fruit, he takes away. And every branch bearing fruit, he cleanses it, in order that it may keep on bearing more fruit. As for you, already you are cleansed ones because of the word which I have spoken to you. Maintain a living communion with me, and I with you. Just as the branch is unable to be bearing fruit from itself as a source unless it remains in a living union with the vine, so neither you, unless you maintain a living communion with me. As for myself, I am the vine. As for you, you are the branches. He who maintains a living communion with me, and I with him, this one is bearing much fruit, because apart from me, you are not able to be doing anything. If anyone is not maintaining a living communion with me, he was thrown outside as the branch is, and was caused to wither. And they gathered them, and into the fire they throw them, and they are burned. If you maintain a living communion with me and my words are at home in you, I command you to ask at once something for yourself, whatever your heart desires, and it will become yours. In this my Father is glorified, namely, that you are bearing much fruit. So shall you become my disciples. Just as the Father loved me, I also loved you. Remain within the sphere of love which is mine. If my commandments you keep, you will remain within the sphere of my love, just as I have kept the commandments of my Father, and am remaining within the sphere of his love. These things have I spoken to you, that the joy which is mine may be in you, and that your joy may be filled full. This is the commandment which is mine, namely, that you should be loving one another with a divine and self-sacrificial love, just as I loved you. Greater love than this no one has, namely, that anyone lay down his life on behalf of his friends. As for you, friends of mine you are, if you habitually do that which I am enjoining upon you. No longer do I call you slaves, because the slave does not have an instinctive perception of what his master is doing. But you I have called friends, because all things which I heard from my Father I made known to you. You did not make me the object of your choice for yourselves, but I selected you out for myself, and I appointed you in order that you might be going away and constantly bearing fruit, and that your fruit might be remaining, in order that whatever you might ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I am enjoining upon you, namely, that you should be loving one another with a divine and self-sacrificial love. If, as is the case, the world is hating you, you know by experience that me it has hated and still does before it hated you. If out of the world you were, the world in that case would be fond of that which is its own private possession. But because out of the world you are not, but I selected you for myself out of the world, on this account the world hates you. Be remembering the word which I spoke to you, a slave is not greater than his master. Since me they persecuted, also you will they persecute. Assuming that they kept my word, also yours they will keep. But these things, all of them, they will do to you on account of all that I am in my person, because they do not know the one who sent me. If I had not come and spoken to them, sin they would not have had. But now they do not have an excuse for their sin. He who hates me hates the Father also. If I did not do the works among them which no other one did, sin they would not have had. But now they have both seen and hated both me and my Father, and they still maintain that attitude of hate. But in order that the word which in their law stands written might be fulfilled, they hated me without just cause. Whenever the Counselor comes, whom I shall send to you from the presence of the Father, the Spirit of the truth, who from the Father's presence proceeds, that one will testify concerning me. And you also are bearing testimony, because from the beginning with me you are. These things I have spoken to you in order that you may not be made to stumble. They will make you outcasts from the synagogue. In fact, there comes an hour that everyone who kills you will be of the opinion that he is offering a sacred service to God. And these things they will do because they did not come to know the Father, nor me, in an experiential manner. But these things I have spoken to you in order that whenever their hour comes, you might recall them to mind, that I told you. And these things to you from the beginning I did not tell, because I was continually with you. But now I am going away to him who sent me, and yet not one of you is asking me, where are you departing? But because these things I have spoken to you, grief has filled your heart and is now controlling it. But I am telling you the truth. It is advantageous for you that I go away. For if I do not go away, the Counselor will positively not come to you. But if I depart, I will send him to you. And having come, that one will convict the world with respect to sin, and with respect to righteousness, and with respect to judgment, with respect to sin on the one hand, because they are not believing on me, with respect to righteousness on the other hand, because to the Father I am going away, and no longer are you seeing me, and with respect to judgment, because the ruler of this world has been judged and is now under judgment. I have yet many things to be saying to you, but you are not able to be hearing them now, so far as your understanding and receiving of them is concerned. However, whenever that one comes, the Spirit of the truth, he will lead you into all the truth, for he will not speak from himself as a source, but as many things as he hears he will speak, and the things that are coming he will make known to you. That one shall glorify me, because he shall take out from that which pertains to me and make it known to you. All things, as many as the Father has, are mine. On this account I said that he takes out from that which pertains to me and shall make it known to you. A little while, and no longer are you attentively contemplating me, and again a little while, and you shall look at me with a discerning sight. Therefore, some of his disciples said to one another, What is this which he is saying to us? A little while, and no longer are you attentively contemplating me, and again a little while, and you shall look at me with a discerning sight. And because I am going away to the Father. Therefore they were saying this. What is it that he is saying? The little while. We do not know with a positive knowledge what he is saying. Jesus perceived that they were desiring to be asking him, and said to them, Concerning this are you inquiring of one another, that I said, A little while, and no longer are you attentively contemplating me, and again a little while, and you shall look at me with a discerning sight? Most assuredly, I am saying to you, you shall weep audibly, and you shall audibly lament, and the world shall rejoice. As for you, you shall be made to grieve, but your grief shall become joy. The woman, whenever she is about to bear, has grief, because her hour has come. But whenever she bears the child, no longer does she remember her anguish, because of her joy that a man was born into the world. And as for you, you therefore now are having grief, but again I shall see you, and your heart shall rejoice, and your joy no one will snatch away from you. And in that day you shall ask me no question about anything. Most assuredly I am saying to you, whatever you shall request of the Father, he will give it to you in view of all that I am in his estimation. Up to this time you requested not even one thing in my name. Be constantly making requests, and you shall receive, in order that your joy, having been filled completely full, might persist in the state of fullness in present time. These things I have spoken to you by way of illustration, in similes and comparisons. An hour comes when no longer in similes and comparisons will I speak to you, but plainly, without the use of similes and comparisons, I will tell you concerning the Father. In that day, in view of all that I am in his estimation, you shall request something for yourselves. And I do not say to you that I will ask the Father in behalf of you, for the Father himself is fond of you, because you have been fond of me and still are, and have believed that I am from the presence of God, came and still hold to that belief. I came out from the Father and have come into the universe. Again, I leave the universe behind and proceed on my way to the Father. His disciples say, Behold, now in plainness of words are you speaking, and not with even one simile or comparison are you uttering your thoughts. Now we know positively that you know all things, and that you do not have need that anyone keep on questioning you. By this we believe that from God you came forth. Jesus answered them, "Do you just now believe? Behold, an hour comes, yes, it has come, that you shall be scattered, each one to the things he possesses, and me you will leave alone. And yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. These things I have spoken to you, in order that in me peace you may be having. In the world you are having tribulation, but be having courage. I have come off victorious over the world with a permanent victory." These things spoke Jesus, and having lifted up his eyes to heaven, he said, "Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, in order that the Son may glorify you, even as you gave to him authority over all flesh, in order that all that you have given him as a permanent gift, he should give to them life eternal. And this is the eternal life, namely, that they might be having an experiential knowledge of you, the only genuine God, and of him whom you sent on a mission, Jesus Christ. I glorified you on the earth, having carried through to completion that which you have given to me to do. And now glorify me, Father, beside yourself, with the glory which I was constantly having with you before the universe existed. I made known your name to the men who you gave me out of the world. They were yours, and you gave them to me, and your word they have held to firmly. Now they have known that all things, as many as you have given to me, are from you, because the words which you gave me, I have given them, and they themselves received them and recognized truly that from your presence I came forth, and they believe that you sent me on a mission. As for myself, I make request concerning them. Not concerning the world do I make requests, but concerning those whom you have given me, because they are yours, and all things that are mine are yours, and the things that are yours are mine, and I stand glorified in them. And as for myself, no longer am I in the world, but they themselves are in the world, and I am coming to you. O Holy Father, maintain a watchful care over them in your name, which you have given me, in order that they may be one, even as we. When I was with them, I constantly maintained a watchful care over them in your name, those whom you have given me, and I guarded them, and no one of them was lost, except the son of perdition, in order that the scripture might be fulfilled. And now to you I am coming, and these things I am speaking in the world, in order that they may be constantly having the joy which is mine, which joy, having been filled full, may exist in the state of fullness in themselves. I have given them your word, and the world hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I do not ask that you should take them out of the world, but that you should guard them safely from the reach of the pernicious one. Of the world they are not, even as I am not of the world. Consecrate them in the sphere of the truth. The word which is yours is truth. Even as me you sent off on a mission into the world, so I sent off them on a mission into the world. And on behalf of them I am setting myself apart, in order that they themselves also, having been set apart for God in the sphere of the truth, may continually be in that state of consecration. But not concerning these only am I making request, but also concerning those who believe on me through their word, in order that all might be one, even as you, Father, are in me and I in you, in order that they themselves also might be in us, to the end that the world may be believing that you sent me on a mission. And as for myself, the glory which you have given me, I have given them, in order that they might be one, even as we are one, I in them, and you in me, in order that they, having been brought to the state of completeness with respect to oneness, may persist in that state of completeness to the end that the world might be understanding that you sent me on a mission, and that you love them even as you loved me. Father, that which you have given me as a permanent gift, I desire that where I am, also those might be with me, in order that they might be continually beholding the glory which is mine, which you have given me because you loved me before the foundation of the universe. O righteous Father, though the world did not know you, yet I knew you, and these knew that you sent me on a mission. And I made known to them your name, and will make it known, in order that the love which you loved me might be in them, and I might be in them. Having spoken these things, Jesus went out with his disciples across the brook Kedron, where there was a garden, into which he himself went, also his disciples. Moreover, also Judas, he who was betraying him, knew the place, because frequently Jesus met there with his disciples. Then Judas, having taken the company of soldiers and officers from the chief priests and from the Pharisees, comes there with torches and lamps and weapons. Jesus, therefore, knowing all the things coming upon him, went out and says to them, Who are you seeking? They answered him, Jesus, the one from Nazareth. He says to them, I am he. Now, Judas, the one betraying him, was also standing with him. Then when he said to them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground. Therefore again he asked them, Whom are you seeking? And they said, Jesus, the one from Nazareth. Answered Jesus, I told you that I am he. Therefore, since you are seeking me, permit these to be departing, in order that there might be fulfilled the word which he spoke. Those whom you have given me as a permanent gift, I lost not even one of them. Then Simon Peter, having a small sword, unsheathed it, and struck the slave of the chief priest and cut off his ear, the right one. And the slave's name was Malchus. Then Jesus said to Peter, Thrust a small sword into its sheath. The cup which the Father has given me, shall I not surely be drinking it? Then the company of soldiers and the commander of the Roman cohort and the officers of the Jews seized Jesus and bound him and led him to Annas first, for he was father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was chief priest that year. Now, Caiaphas was the one who gave counsel to the Jews that it was expedient that one man die on behalf of the people. And there was following with Jesus Simon Peter and another disciple, and that disciple was known to the chief priests, and he entered in with Jesus into the uncovered courtyard of the chief priest's house. But Peter was standing at the door outside. Then the disciple, the other one, the one known to the chief priests, went out and spoke to the woman doorkeeper and brought in Peter. Then the female slave, the one who had charge of the door, says to Peter, And as for you, you are not also one of this man's disciples, are you? That one says, I am not. Now the slaves and the officers, having made a coal fire, had taken their stand there because it was cold, and they were warming themselves. Now Peter also was with them, standing and warming himself. Then the chief priest asked Jesus concerning his disciples and concerning his teaching. Jesus answered him, As for myself, I have spoken openly to the world. I, at all times, taught in a synagogue and in the temple where all the Jews habitually come together, and in secret I said nothing. Why are you asking me? Ask those who have heard what I said to them. Behold, these know the things which I said. Now, after he had said these things, one of the officers standing by gave Jesus a slap in the face, having said, In this manner are you answering the chief priest? Jesus answered him, Assuming that I spoke evil, furnish testimony concerning the evil. But assuming that I spoke well, why do you flay me? Then Annas sent him bound to Caiaphas the chief priest, and there was Simon Peter, standing and warming himself. Then they said to him, "And as for you, you are not also one of his disciples, are you?" That one denied and said, "I am not." One of the slaves of the chief priest, being a relative of him whose ear Peter cut off, says, "As for myself, did I not see you in the garden with him?" Then again Peter denied, and immediately a rooster crowed. Then they led Jesus from Caiaphas into the place of the governor. Now it was early, and they themselves did not enter into the palace, in order that they might not be defiled, but might eat the Passover. Therefore Pilate went outside to them and says, "What accusation are you bringing against this man?" They answered and said to him, "If this man were not an habitual evildoer, we would not in that case have delivered him up to you." Then Pilate said to them, "As for you, you take him, and according to your law judge him." The Jews said to him, "It is not legal for us to put anyone to death, in order that the word of Jesus might be fulfilled, which he spoke when he was making known what kind of death he was about to be dying." Then again Pilate entered his palace and called Jesus and said to him, "As for you, are you the king of the Jews?" Answered Jesus, "As for you, of yourself are you saying this, or did others say this to you concerning me?" Answered Pilate, "As for myself, I am not a Jew, am I? Your own nation and the chief priests delivered you over to me. What did you do?" Answered Jesus, "The kingdom which is mine is not of this world. If the kingdom which is mine were of this world, the servants who are mine in that case would now be fighting in order that I would not be delivered to the Jews. But now the kingdom which is mine is not from this place." Then Pilate said to him, "Are you therefore not a king?" Answered Jesus, "As for you, you are saying that I am a king. I, for this purpose, have been born, and for this purpose have come into the universe, in order that I might bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth hears my voice." Pilate says to him, "What is truth?" And having said this, he went out again to the Jews and says to them, "As for myself, I do not find a cause for accusation in him, not one bit. But there's a custom with you that one I should release to you at the Passover. Therefore, is it your reasoned desire that I should release to you the King of the Jews?" Then they shouted again, saying, "Not this fellow, but the one known to you and us, that Barabbas." Now, the aforementioned Barabbas was a robber. Then Pilate therefore took Jesus and scourged him. And the soldiers, having woven a victor's crown made of thorns, placed it upon his head. And they threw around him a purple cloak. And they kept on coming to him and saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they kept on giving him cuffs with their hands. And Pilate went outside again and says to them, "Look, I am bringing him